Hello Eisenhower artists! Your goal for this lesson is to create your own cartouche. You should have watched the introduction video explaining what is a cartouche. Here is an example of what cartouches look like. So it's like a name plate, and this is the Egyptian alphabet. They didn't use letters, they used symbols to represent the sounds. So Michael, the M sound, was this symbol of a bird, and then the rest of the sounds were all symbols. We're going to draw the cartouche, and then we're going to put the symbols in the middle that will represent your name. All right, here's another example. This is the name Wendy, Claire, and here is what yours will look like. So the subject of our artwork is Egyptian cartouches, and the element of art that we're going to focus on is value. Value in your artwork means the lightness and darkness of the colors in your art. So check it out right here. The cartouche has a rope that's wrapped around it, and their mythology said that this rope had no beginning and no end. And in the shapes of the rope, you're going to put value. So you're going to have the dark parts right here of the rope and the light parts, and then you're going to have dark parts in all these shapes. Even the shapes here that spell out your name, you'll need to put dark edges and then fill it in with a lighter color. Okay, to get started, we're going to do the guidelines like we usually do. They're so helpful in getting the right size of shapes and lines to fill up your page. So this time we only need a vertical guideline going through the middle. So put your page tall, fold it this way so it's tall and narrow, and it's a soft fold, don't smash it flat. You're going to draw the shape of the cartouche first and then fill it in with the symbols. Near the top, put one finger here near the top, and then put a dot under your finger. Then put two fingers at the bottom and put a dot above your fingers. Now at the bottom, from the middle dot, you're going to curve out, keep going out, and then go up. So then from the middle, you're going to do the other side. Go out, 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 and then go up. All right, now don't worry about this being perfectly straight or even. We're going to fix it as we go. So from here, you're going to want to keep going up, 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 up. Stop when you get near the top. Then go to the dot at the top, go out, and then start curving down and meet up where that line left off. Okay, this side looks a little bit crooked, but it's okay, I'm going to fix it. So from here, curved out, I think I'll fix it a little bit right there. Then I'm going to start going up. Look at the side of your page to kind of help you go straight. When you get near the top, stop, then start at the top dot. Go out first, don't turn right away. You got to go out and then turn down. Okay, then you can kind of look at everything together and kind of fix your edges. Like that curve I needed to fit. Everybody's is going to look different with different curves. This side still looks kind of crooked, right? Let me see if I can straighten that out. We're going to do the bottom of the cartouche. They always had this rope wrapped around a platform or a shape like this going across the bottom. So first, where that dot was, you're going to put a big circle around that dot. Don't make it too small. A big circle around that dot. From the bottom of this shape, the cartouche shape, you're going to go out, almost near the bottom, and then turn and come back. Now if your cartouche was lower to the page like this one, you can go out and then down off the page. Curve the end though and then go down off the page. This time look how I drew this one. It's not so close to the bottom. So I'm going to go back, stop here in the middle, then come back up to the top, go out, curve, and then back. Now we're going to do the line for the rope that's wrapped around the cartouche. So we've got the bar here at the bottom. We're going to start here. Don't make it too thin here at the bottom with a curve. You're going to follow this curve. You're going to go up, Just go slow and keep it as straight as you can. You're following this curve. It's going to be parallel. Go around there. Parallel line. Keep going. Don't go too fast. Take your time, and it's going to curve like that. Okay, so pause the video and do these steps. All right, now we're doing the rope. Down here at the bottom, there's rope wrapped around the bottom with this jewel. So you're going to start on one side of the jewel, leave a space, and do a curve like a letter C. 1, 2, 3 curves there. Then do a curve in the middle that goes the other way, curving that way like a capital B curves this way. Okay, and then go away from the jewel. 1, 2, 3. Once we add the color, it's going to look like rope wrapped around that bottom piece. Now we're going to do the rope lines on the edge here. So start at the top in this corner and make a curve like a letter C. Then you're going to leave a big space. Don't put these curves too close together. Put another curve like a letter C. Turn your page. Leave a big space. Letter C. Leave a big space. And you're going to go around the cartouche. Keep turning the page so you're always doing a letter C curve. Keep going. Leave big spaces in between. Turning the page, making these letter C shapes. They don't have to be exact distance apart, just leave space in between. So now you're going to go back to the lesson module. You're going to pause this video. You're going to go back to the lesson module, look at the pages there on the lesson, and you'll see right under the video link, I put these images here for you so you can figure out what symbol goes with each letter of your name. So this is the A. You can use the symbol of this falcon or this arm. If your first name starts with a B, you're going to draw this foot shape. Okay, the letter C is, you can choose this cup or this curvy stick shape. So you go find each letter of your name and you're going to draw that symbol on your cartouche. Okay, so you'll have the computer page up in front of you and you're going to find your symbol and draw that here on your cartouche. Okay, so if you look at the symbols, you'll be able to figure out what my first name is. My name has 3 letters and the first letter is the same as the last letter, so this is what my cartouche ended up looking like. 3 symbols for 3 letters. Let me know if you figure out the Egyptian hieroglyphics and find out what my first name is. Okay, so some of you have names with lots of letters. You can put your hieroglyphic symbols like this. They don't all have to fit, and if they don't all fit in a row, you can put them going like this, like in 3 rows. However you can fit all the letters of your name, go ahead and do that. Also, you'll be looking at these examples I gave you for what colors you might want to use later on when you're adding color to your hieroglyphics. All right, so pause this video, go back to the lesson module and check the images there that have all the hieroglyphics. Also, kind of think ahead when you figure out each hieroglyphic for the letters of your name, how it's going to fit on your page. So don't start drawing 2 big ones and take up most of the space, and then you still might have 4 letters left and you'll run out of room. All right, so kind of think about planning how many letters are going to go on the cartouche and what size you have to work with. What size should you make your hieroglyphics? Okay, so for this example, I wrote the name of my daughter here on this cartouche. So her name was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters, and for the last 2 letters I put them here side by side. All right, so you make them fit however you can, and I'll be excited to see when I look at your artwork. I'll go to one of the charts and I'll figure out whose name is there on the cartouche by looking at the charts. Okay, so usually we use a black marker next, right? Trace and erase. This time for this style of art, I was thinking it would look really nice to use a brown marker. So if you have a brown marker, try and use that this time. If not, go ahead and use a black marker. Okay, so you use whatever supplies you have, black or brown marker. I encourage you to try the brown for this project. If you can't find any markers, use a pen. You might have a regular black pen, that would be good too. Your goal is to cover up the pencil and get a dark line. We're getting ready for color. Also, another tip I always remind you about, don't draw small. Okay, make sure you keep your lines as large as they can be. Fill up the page, fill up the space inside the cartouche. Okay friends, how did it go with trace and erase? Remember, that's a very important step. You're getting your art ready for color, getting rid of all the stray pencil lines. Okay, value. That is the element of art that we're focusing on. Value in your artwork. That happens with the lightness and darkness of your colors. If you have colored pencils, I encourage you to use colored pencils for this project. If you don't, that's okay. You can still use crayon and marker. Any combination of these things usually works. I'll just give you suggestions to try. Find a brown colored pencil, and we're going to do the details on the rope first. If you don't have a brown colored pencil, use a marker or a crayon. Each of your parts that you're coloring on this cartouche must have a dark edge, a dark part and a light part. Let's do the curvy lines first. So on each curvy line, you're going to go around it and put a dark edge. Turn your page to help you get the curve better. You're going to put a dark edge on each curve. Okay, when you get down here to the bar at the bottom of the cartouche, leave this middle section for jewels. A lot of the artwork shows that they put jewels here on these spots here at the bottom. So don't put brown there. We're going to put color at those spots at the bottom. So at the bar at the bottom, put a dark edge on the top and along the side. So let's see, right here, then this curve, you're putting a dark edge just on the curves. So for now, a dark edge. Okay, that's the curve. Now the outside edge needs to have a dark edge. Okay, don't make it too thin and then we can't see it very much. So go down the outside edge, put dark brown there. You might be using a crayon for this, and that's okay. So keep turning the outside edge, not the inside here. Once you get to the other side, stay on the outside edge. Helping this rope look more curvy. Now you're going to fill it in with a light shade. Whatever you were using, your crayon or your marker, you're going to fill it in with a light shade. So here I can do long strokes and fill in lightly. Okay, and when you're adding the light shade, I want you to go over that dark edge and overlap it. That helps blend the two shades together. So I'm over here on this side. I'm going lightly. I'm going to go right over that dark edge, overlap on top just a little bit. It helps the two colors blend together. Okay, so press lightly, kind of like you're floating over the page instead of pushing into the page. You're just floating over the page, getting a nice light color. Remember, we left the middle here for colors, for jewels. The next thing we're going to do for the rope to give it even a better effect, with a yellow crayon, you're going to add another layer of color. Check it out, right on top of the dark edge and on top of the light color, and that's really going to blend it together and make it pop, make it look round. So it's a light layer, it's not a lot of yellow, but it is evenly applied. Don't leave any big spaces without yellow. And isn't that awesome how it blends together and makes it really pop and makes it really look curvy? Okay, so it goes right on top of everything. The dark edge, the light brown, carefully on top. You are blending colors and you are using value, and it's going to look so amazing. Okay, down here on this bar at the bottom. Let's do these jewels at the bottom. I'm going to show you with crayon. So if you don't have colored pencil right now, I'm going to show you the dark edge with crayon. So here in the middle jewel, I chose a purple, and I'm going to go right on the edge. Just put a dark crayon purple, right like that around the edge. One side could be thicker than the other side, that's okay. And then I'm going to fill it in lightly. Now I'm gently floating over the paper, not as dark. I have value in that circle shape. So I'm going to do a purple edge, that side and this side, and then a purple edge over here, edge of the shape, okay, and then fill it in with light purple. And you've got value. I'm going to put a dark edge on all the edges. See that? Okay, let me do the darks first. So edge, 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 edge of everything. I'm going to do green again. Turn your page to make it easiest to get into all these shapes and curves. Dark edge. And then fill it in lightly. So now I'm floating over the paper, not pressing hard anymore, but I'm still filling in all the space, evenly filled, but it's just a light color. All right, can you see that value? Dark edge, lighter in the middle. With each shape, you're going to put a dark edge. Okay, let me show you one, and then we'll hit pause and we'll each work on our own shapes. So put a dark edge on everything, goes light in the middle in all the leftover space. And now I'm going to lightly float over the page, and it's going to have a light blue for the rest of the shape. And light in the middle. Float, float, float over the page. But that doesn't mean you leave spaces without color. Fill it up. Don't leave that white paper showing. You're just gently adding the color. All right, let's hit pause. We'll each work on our color, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, art friends, how did it go with your value? I'll be checking to see, do all of your shapes have a dark edge and then lighter in the center? Check out the falcon. See the dark edge there and then the lighter orange? Every shape needs to have a dark edge and lighter on the inside. One more step left to finish up your cartouche. We got to fill up this background space here. So check out this example. This is one idea you can do. If you want to put these little shapes here that look like, make it look old and ancient and crumbling and stained and falling apart, you can put some shapes like that on the background of your cartouche. Here's how you do it. You're going to use a brown color tool, so crayon or a brown color pencil, and you're just going to put little squiggles. Think of like a crack in a rock. You know, a lot of these cartouches were carved into the buildings and the temples. So think of a crack in the stone and just make little squiggles. Some go like this, like a letter V. Some are diagonal. Some are just splotches in the middle. I'm going to put some on the edges. So this can just help it look a little more antique and ancient. It's all wearing away year after year. You know, the ancient Egyptians lived in Egypt more than 5,000 years ago. People still live in Egypt today. That country still exists. All right, so I've got these little squiggly lines to make it look like it's really old and cracked and wearing away. The last step is a yellow background. Now maybe you want to put brown. If you do put brown, make it very, very, very light. But I think I want just yellow so it looks a lot different from the outside of the rope. So just a light layer, and I can go right over those cracked and squiggly lines and they'll blend together just fine. Okay, go patch by patch. Don't try and scribble big strokes. You're going to go around all your hieroglyphs that spelled your name. I can't wait to see how your name is spelled in Egyptian hieroglyphs. Okay, I finished the last step on my cartouche, filling the background with that yellow crayon. So I really hope you enjoyed looking at Egyptian art and discovering the letters of your name in Egyptian hieroglyphs. Look how different these two turned out. This one was more narrow. This one was a little bit wider. So everybody's is going to look different. And I hope you had lots of fun. I'll see you next time.